Hey there, welcome to today's episode. We're going to take a look at colors on the MPC. A way generally to be organized, but also a little bit of aesthetics as well. We'll talk about that as we go through. Towards the end of the video, if you don't like a lot of colors, it's all a bit in your face, I'm going to show you how I run mine, and it's kind of dulled down a little bit, show you a couple of tips and tricks as we go. Let's start with the default though. You've just bought one of these. As you create tracks, it randomizes the colors. You might have noticed that already, but if I create a new track, we've got drum. This one is a slightly different color of yellow, but let's add another one. Then it's green. Let's add a plugin where we're getting this peppermint color. And let's try a key group where it's giving us blue. It's just randomizing those colors. The other default state is that your pad colors will match the track, except if you'll notice when we're working with key groups here, and the same with our plugin, your pads are generally red and yellow because it's telling you about notes and scales, that type of thing. But the MIDI information and things like that will still be the same color as the track if you haven't changed anything. When we take a look at like a drum track, I don't have any samples loaded up. Let's just choose a sample very quickly, load it onto this pad. It might not be so easy to see, but this pad is lit up and it is green to match the track because by default, the pad color will be exactly the same as your track unless you change it. If you want to change it, we go to the menu, we go for pad color, which might be in here if you've been moving things around. If not, it's going to be on the second page, and here is pad color. So it is following the track, the first default state. When we choose the track color, we're choosing exactly the same pad color. If you want independence, you move this over to pad, and then I can change that to whatever I like. The first state would be all pads. Let's look at that. Now, if I change that to red, what we're saying is that every single sample we load up here, all of the pads will be red, but the track remains the same color. So if we go to main, you'll notice we've got a green track, and then we've got red samples and red pads if we loaded up more samples. Pretty nasty combination, but you get the idea. If we go back to pad color, the other option is to go to single pad, where we can choose independent colors per pad. And we do that in exactly the same way. Whatever is selected here, the color, I then choose the pad. So I want these three to be red. We want a little bit of green, and I want some blue down here, followed by some yellow. Whatever we set there is obviously the colors that will be applied. So this pad is now turned to yellow because that's what we've told it to do. If we load all our samples up, they're going to match whatever we've chosen here. So very easy to set up and customize and tailor to your own workflow. If you like something, you can make that the default state per track. So for all my drum tracks, if I said make this the default, every single time I load up a drum track, it's going to give me this like color option. Now, I don't want that, but it's something that you can do. I want to show you how you can dial it back though as well, because this is great if you love a lot of color in your face. I personally don't. I could do without the entire color system on the MPC. It's just something that I don't use. But I just want to show you how I customize mine. Let's go back to main, and we're going to go back to our menu and over a tab so that we can look at the preferences. If we go into preferences and project defaults, down at the very bottom here, used fixed track row and color. That's what I have turned on. I turn this on and I say whatever color I want by default. And really, I like tangerine, this kind of orange color, because I just think it goes well with the gray MPC. That's purely it. I don't like turning it off completely. Some people might leave in the comments that you can turn the colors off completely, but the problem there is that you get gray on the display, and the gray just isn't very nice. So I need a color of some sort. I like orange with the gray. I turn this on, so we've got used fixed track row and color, and then select the color that you like from the list. Every time now I create a new track, if I go to main and we start creating tracks, another drum track, it's tangerine. Let's create another one. It's tangerine. And you get the idea. They're always going to be the same color. That's personally how I like to work. I keep all my pads exactly the same color as the track. It just simplifies things, unifies things, doesn't give me a headache. But anyway, that's track colors on the MPC. Take care.